Loolinn Z3 a good drone? Depends on what you're looking for. Um, this is more of a beginner drone than anything. Um, I personally think this also could help an intermediate level person. I remember when I was first trying to fly and stuff, I needed something kind of like this. I had the Pro Mark, but that was a little more advanced than this here. So this would be a good step um, to start off at, or maybe even the next step, um, because it has an okay range and stuff. And once you learn the controls, now the controls and stuff is something that I have a little tiny issue with, but it's everything has something to be different with. So on your controller here, the things that I don't like, usually you'll have like some sort of trim buttons or whatever on anything hobby grade type thing. Um, this one here, to access the trim functions, you have to hold this one down, like push it in, until you hear a click, hold it down. And then if you want to trim it this way, you just keep pushing it, however many times. Same as that way, or, whatever way you want to trim it out. It does work, and it works fine. If you try to fly this outside without turning on the what I call sport mode, um, you're going to have problems because the drone itself will get pushed around by 5 mile an hour wind. I mean, it's a light drone, which is good, but it's also bad. And beyond that, it also has it suffers a little bit from the anemic motors, is what I'm calling it. I don't really know how else to describe it besides that, guys. I'm sorry. But if you take the second stick over here, the right stick, the one that you control most of it with, and click it in, just one little click, that brings it to what I call sport mode, which is, and if you're going to fly outdoors, that's the only mode that I would use. And it actually handles itself pretty well. Now, if you get it up and it gets a bunch of wind, yeah, of course, it is a small drone. You got to keep that in mind. Just to give you a little comparison, this is the Tello that I have, okay, and this is the Loolinn. They're about the same size, and they weigh almost exactly the same. So the Tello, for its size, has a good weight balance. It's still a little on the light side too, because you can't take it in certain areas where there's a lot of wind because it'll just get bounced all over the place. This one here is basically the same thing, but it's got a bigger profile. It's got a bigger area that the wind can catch. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't really get hot. These little batteries here, I used to hate little batteries like this, but I don't know if it's what they've got in here or what, but these little guys here, I'm getting, excuse me, I'm getting 12 minutes or so on a flight. If I'm easy and lower to the ground, I'll get a solid 15 minutes. That's pretty damn good. I wish they would have put a better camera in there. I mean, it has HD, whatever. When you order it, it says 80 meters resolution of the camera. Okay, whatever that means. HD 1280 times 720. What's in the box? And it tells you what's in the box beyond that. So all they really tell you about the camera is that it's HD and it's 1280 by 720. So this is what I've looked up for 1280 by 720. Okay, so let me just read you what I've found here on the camera. And this is where I think it suffers pretty, I won't say bad because it's a beginner. It says the numbers 720 and 180 refer to horizontal resolution, okay? Therefore, 720 HD camera provides images that are 1280 by 720, which is what this is. Now, that's not terrible, but nowadays when everything's 1080 and above, it's behind. So if you're looking to get this to take decent pictures and stuff, you're going to be a little disappointed. It's mainly kind of marketed as a FPV type thing, but it doesn't come with goggles or anything like that. I think the idea with this one is, and it misses the mark a little bit on packaging and explanation and things like that, but it's kind of like a little bit of a gem in the same respect. And let me explain, because that sounds kind of goofy. So when you get a Pro Mark, for example, I was kind of blown away with them for a while back, just because of the size and quality and stuff like that you got. They came with FPV, like a headset thing that you can put your phone in. I think this would be very well suited for something like that as well. I do believe it has some sort of a mode like that on there. The app is something I haven't really explored very well, and I'm not gonna go crazy with it because there's a million of these things out there. You guys are free to do and figure that part out on your own. Now, again, it does come packaged very well. You can take the protectors off there, and they do fold in. I'm not going to fold this one in here, at least not right now, until I'm done kind of messing around with it. But for a beginner and for someone to learn how to fly, or something that doesn't go really fast and just want to kind of play around the yard, it's pretty fun. I have the most fun when I don't even hook up the app to the drone. I just want to use the controller. I'm not an expert on everything, so I could be getting that part wrong, but in my opinion, the optical flow on this one here, if you put your hand under here, should theoretically do the same thing. It doesn't do anything. I can put my hand here, I can even touch the bottom of the drone, and nothing happens. So that's a missed safety feature, I think. Because if it's touted as a beginner drone, and that's really what you're marketing it for, and kids and stuff's going to be playing with it, I think that would be a great feature that they could take advantage of. All right, so I'm just going to let some of the video and stuff play here. I've cut and chopped a lot here just to show you. I spent a lot of time with this drone here, a lot more than I normally do, because I really did have fun with it. This is your instruction booklet, and it comes in many different languages. Just make sure that you actually look through this and read over it, because the instructions for using this or even the app is a lot different than many of the other ones, especially at the lower grade. So just kind of take that in consideration when you're using this thing. It can be fun, and like I said, for a beginner level, it's not bad. It really isn't. I'm probably going to rate this somewhere around 3 or 4 stars. And that's out of 5, which is really not bad. I've bought many things at that level, so keep that in mind. And as you watch the videos and stuff here, I'll just kind of cut and chop a little bit here, so you can kind of see some of the limitations as well as some of the advantages of the drone itself. So all right, so the first thing you can see here is the packaging and stuff. It comes pretty well packaged like everything else. I have already opened this up, so it's not new to me, but here's how it comes packaged. And as you can tell, it has little legs on the bottom that fit in those little holes. Everything seems to have a nice little place. You take the package out like so, and you got all your manuals and stuff like that in there. Now, I do have to say one thing. I'm not much for reading a manual, but I do like how thick this is. I mean, there's a lot of really good information in there for somebody that doesn't know. It's in different languages. I mean, it's pretty decent so far. I'm not going to go through and check the grammar or whatever. This does come from China, so there may be some of that as well. But from what I can tell, I mean, they tried to put together something pretty comprehensive. So I do like that. Again, most people might think that's a little overkill and just want to go with the quick start sheet. So here's the quick start. You got a app to download. I assume that's what it runs on. And you got to set up your controller, very much like the one that comes from ProMark. Most of those are very similar. I don't know what the range of stuff is on this. Let's see if it says it on the box. The range, here you go. So the brand is Loolinn. The Z3 RC drone, blah, blah, blah. It comes with 2 batteries. It's supposed to be about 60 minutes flight time. We'll do some range testing and stuff on it because I don't see the range listed on here. Let's see if it's listed on the listing. Okay, so as you can see, this is where you would attach your phone. You do have to supply your own batteries. Let me show you how many and how easy that is. It comes with a supplied screwdriver here. So we'll just take that out, take off the battery cover here, and I'll show you what you need for that. Okay, it takes 4 AA batteries, as you can tell. When you loosen the screw, it will not come all the way out. It's designed to kind of stay in the door there, which is nice because so many of those come out and then you lose them. One thing that I will say about this, and we'll get some batteries here in a minute, is it comes with 3 batteries. On the packaging, it says 2. So there's one inside the drone. Let me kind of show you this here. This is the cover here. So you push this little button and the cover is supposed to come off like that. See how it has the battery already inside? There's a battery right there, which I'm now charging. And this is your indicator light to tell you when it's ready. It'll go out, or it'll change the color or whatever. And then here's another battery here that it comes with. Now, these are not like the helicopters and such that you've seen before that has just the regular JST connectors. These have their own like proprietary type plug. And what I mean by that is if you look, they're a little bit different than the others. I don't know if that will connect the same way. It may. I don't have any JSTs to kind of compare it with at this time, but I will find out eventually. So it's kind of unique, kind of cool at the same time, but can also be something of a hindrance later if you want to buy aftermarket batteries, or you destroy these, or they just run dead, whatever. Everything wears out and you want to replace them. So depending on how long that the drone's life is, that might become a problem. Again, who knows what that's actually going to be yet. It may be totally fine. These batteries may last forever. I honestly don't know. So it comes without its little caps. Those are actually inside of one of these bags over here. They come with extra propellers and stuff. I'm not going to actually install them right now. I'm just going to kind of keep my mind to this right there. They don't really serve a purpose. I mean, I guess they hold the screws and stuff in there, but I'm going to double check and make sure everything's tight before we go out and fly for the first time. I do want to point out one thing though. So if you notice, this is A, this is B. Whenever you're doing these blades or replacing them or whatever, whether it's the OEM factory stuff to replace it with, or if you buy aftermarkets, remember A and B, they go on differently. So one thing that we're going to do, which I always like to do, is we're going to snap on our blade protectors, or whatever you call this. It's just a safety feature, and where I fly at, I just think it's a good idea. Sometimes I get around kids and stuff, and it's not on purpose, but whenever I get things like this out, it tends to draw a little bit of a crowd, and I want to make sure that everything's safe and nobody's going to have any problems with what I do going forward. So we're going to get all this stuff on here, and as soon as that battery charges, we'll get it out for its first flight.